audio is brought to you by Mr. Flamingo. Please be advised. All statements and comments on any topic are the subject of the opinion of one pink bird. Thank you and subscribe.
Tonight, 11 p.m. The amount will be $50 million.
$50 million? And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
Keep him talking.
All right. Oh, that's right. The clap comes first. All right. Clap again. Mr. Flamingo Reviews time. Hello, and welcome to Mr. Flamingo Reviews, where today I will be reviewing...
Hey, this is nice.
Rush Hour. And we're back. Welcome back to Mr. Flamingo Reviews.
Whoa. What's up?
Where today I am far from alone, as the normal co-host is here in the return of JPZ.
Hey.
The point of today's episode is I'm reviewing Rush Hour 3, finishing out I reviewed Rush Hour 1 by myself, JPZ was here for Rush Hour 2, and now the gang's all here for Rush Hour 3.
3 people for the third movie.
Yes, sir. Basically.
I planned this.
2 people for
totally
the second
planned
movie.
this.
And Solo for the first one.
Starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, Rush Hour 3 picks up 3 years after the end of the second film, where Carter and Lee have effectively gone their separate ways for a while. You're throwing me off right now. More or
This
less,
is what you don't get to see.
I'm surprised they didn't mention it in the movie.
you would think, but the movie was filmed in 2007 after a bunch of production hell, so to speak.
You know the guy who's anti-American?
That's awful.
I mean,
We don't entertain this.
Not true. There is a Chris Tucker
It's
joke
getting
in the
cut
movie.
off.
There's so
that
many
is
jokes in the
outlandish.
movie. But more or less, just to run down the plot of the film, Lee comes face to face with his past as the return of his suddenly existing adoptive brother Kenji, played by Hiroyuki Sanada, who you will find in such things as the new Mortal Kombat film, is the bad guy of the film. And also, they have to end up in France. Most of this film takes place in France because they're looking for a list for the triads.
You took French.
I did take French. I couldn't tell you half the words.
$5 to do this entire review in French.
How was the scene with the nun then for you? Were you able to understand it?
Well, I mean, I watched this film when it came out. I now know some French, but no, I can't say I know most of the verbs.
What do you mean?
and,
I thought you watched it
transition stuff.
recently.
I did.
Oh.
But I'm saying originally when I watched
Oh.
it, he asked me how was the nun scene.
Oh.
Now looking back at it, now I've picked up some stuff, but I was bad at French to begin with. But that's unrelated.
Croissants.
Yes, it's unrelated to this film at
Huh.
all.
I'm surprised there were any croissants in Rush Hour 3.
I'm surprised
so
about a
you're
lot of
French.
things of Rush Hour 3.
True.
For something that's more or less a current film, Rush Hour 3 was a lot of fun. Still playing off of the charm between Chan and Tucker, this film is supposed to take place just 3 years after the second film, and the second film just takes place a couple days after the first. Chronologically speaking, that's all true. But if that's the case, that raises a lot of different problems. But more or less, this focus is still on the charm of their characters, but the plot itself is really just pulled out of nowhere. Suddenly Lee has an adoptive brother. Suddenly the triads are back in play.
Su Young's back.
Su Young's back.
Suddenly Palpatine returned.
Suddenly Palpatine returned. For Su Young to be back in 19 when in 3 years ago she was 12. The timeline's not really adding up in this movie. That's a different problem. You don't really look too much into it. A lot of the characters are fun. They introduce Genevieve. I forget how to pronounce it.
Yeah, no, the pronunciation was weird to me
She's a
too.
French
in the movie.
But
Yeah.
she is, spoilers, the person with the triad list tattooed to the back of her head. So she's the target in the entirety of this film. It's fun to run around France, so the set pieces were nice. The movie itself, like I said, outside of Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, the movie itself was not up to par with what the second film provided, but comedy-wise, still pretty good. Somehow extremely dated, still pretty good. I'm going to turn the floor over and see if anybody has thoughts.
Yeah, just to add on, it was pretty outdated. There's a joke that Carter makes, or I guess Chris Tucker makes, about 6 Iranians that he arrested because he thought they were terrorists. Isabella makes a slight cameo where I guess she got shot in the neck by Carter, and so that ruins Lee's relationship with Isabella.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the last episode for Rush Hour 2. They just write her off by Carter shot her. And he's like, so what if her eyes droopy and now she works at El Pollo Loco?
If there's one thing I want to bring up, I think Carter is just unhinged in this movie with the amount of like jokes he says.
Exactly. He threatened some poor taxi driver.
Yeah,
He did. It was funny. Because the taxi driver, he was like, I don't take his kind. And they were like,
Taxi
what do you
driver.
mean my kind? And it's like, Americans, they're always so violent. So what does Carter do? He pulls out a gun. And he's like, you want to see violent? I'll show you violent.
Also, the scene where they bring in the hitman, like the French hitman, is down like in the basement of the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
And the French hitman just says, "Shoot me," and Carter, without hesitation, pulls the trigger. But since the clip was empty, the bullet didn't go off. But that scared the hell out the hitman, and that was the one thing that kind of caught me off guard. It kind of seemed out of character for Carter to do that.
To be fair, now that you mention it, a lot of this movie, because in the first two, as established, Carter or Chris Tucker was always the funny guy, but this,
He was just
took it to a
unhinged.
very, very extreme point.
It's not the first two movies. It definitely isn't. But you don't watch the movie for a serious movie. You watch it for a good time.
Yeah,
True.
you watch it mostly for Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan and the way they play off of each other. Usually, as long as they're just given scenes to work with, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, their chemistry stayed the same through the movie, in my opinion. Like, they were still able to play well off of each other. There was a lot less action in the movie, though. I think there was just 2 fight scenes out of the whole movie.
There were 2 big fight scenes, and it was the car chase and it was the fight on the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that was it.
That's a beautiful shot.
It was.
It was a very 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 beautiful shot of what?
Yeah.
Oh, the
what?
Eiffel Tower.
Oh.
The same stock shot of the Eiffel Tower they
You
use
can't
in all
tell
early
me. You can't
2000
tell me.
movies.
You can't
I
tell
can
me.
find a very similar shot in the movie like G.I. Joe.
Do it.
Oh, we got call outs.
But
Mr. Flamingo's
I would
getting
like.
called out.
I would like to see you edit this one.
I edit 90% of these. You edited like 2 videos and you think you're hot stuff.
Dear YouTube drama. This is what's gonna get
This
us
is my
started.
beef. I'm just kidding. At
What's
the
your
end of
beef?
the
What's your YouTube?
I just call him the co-host. You calling him that is gonna get removed. We mostly avoid
Oh,
names.
my bad.
No, you're good. That's why I just call you JPZ to put up the logo.
Yeah.
What's it called? Names. For better or worse, I know I just have like 137 subscribers, folks. We're on the road to 100,000 someday. I don't really want to do names right now.
Okay.
You know? It's neither here nor there. I should have told you that at the time.
And in that case, we're gonna name off every single subscriber. any person that subscribes to the channel, we're gonna call out your name right now.
Just leave your name in the comments and I'll read them in the next video.
You can visit Mr. Flamingo.
What? You don't know a single thing about the movie, so you start doxing us?
I don't see a Rush Hour 4 happening anytime. So I think it was a good write-off. It was a good write-off. It, like you said, the candle, it didn't hold up to the first two, but it was still fun overall. And, maybe we might see Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan reunite some other movie or time.
Instead of Jackie Chan pairing up with tons of different random people. There's a movie where Jackie Chan hangs out with Johnny Knoxville, and there's a movie where Jackie Chan hangs out with John Cena.
Whoa. I can't. What movie is that?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Anyways,
Co-host.
any closing thoughts?
Co-host who lives on... I don't know.
If I could have remembered the numbers, I would have doxed him. I just know the street.
Say the street.
Okay, so my co-host here lives on... I'm just kidding. Just say your final piece.
It does its job. If you don't really want to watch it, don't watch it.
Just watch the first two.
You can watch you can get away with just watching the first two.
But watch this before you watch the TV show.
This
There's a TV
Oh, yeah.
show?
That's a whole different problem. It doesn't have Jackie Chan or Chris Tucker, and it ran for about a season.
Was it like a knockoff of
No,
them?
it was Rush Hour. It was supposed to be the characters, but like since it's a TV show, you know what they do. They add like the world building fluff where it's like, now suddenly Lee has a sister, all that kind of stuff where you're trying to like build. Don't watch that. Watch this before you watch that, but watch the first two. Anywho, I've been Mr. Flamingo Reviews. This has been.
This has
awful.
been JPZ.
Nah, I'm just kidding. This has been JPZ, the co-host. I'll put everybody's pictures. I put JPZ's YouTube in the description. I did that for the last video too.
Oh, thanks.
We'll put like our actual photos
No.
And our houses.
and our houses and our addresses.
Yeah.
It's cut. It's over.
I'll even put my bank account info.
Hey, if
for
you
guys.
want, you could probably.
I don't think people put enough effort into doing that.
No, no one does.
Only you would. Oh, this is going so south. Good night.
Yeah. Have fun with that information. Bye.
May I help you?
We'll be asking the questions, old man. Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
I have told you.
Are you deaf?
No, you is blind.
I'm not blind, you blind.
That is what I just said.
You just said what?
I did not say what. I said you.
That's what I'm asking you.
And you is answering.
Shut up!